To M.M. Dostoyevsky, Peter and Paul Fortress, Petersburg, December 22nd, 1849. Brother, my beloved friend, it is decided I have been sentenced to 4 years at hard labor in a fortress. I believe in the Orenburg Fortress, to be followed by service in the ranks. Today, this 22nd of December, they carted us off to Semyonovsky Square. There they read us all our death sentence, allowed us to kiss the cross, broke a sword over each of our heads, and attired us for execution, white shirts. Then 3 of us were placed at the post for the execution to be carried out. They were calling 3 names at a time. I was in the second group, and so I had no more than 1 minute left to live. I thought of you, brother, of all your family. At the last moment, you alone were in my mind, and it was only then that I realized how much I love you, my dear brother. I also had time to embrace Pleshcheyev and Durov, who were nearby, and to say goodbye to them. Then they sounded retreat. Those who were tied to the post were led back, and they announced that His Imperial Majesty was granting us life. After that, they read us our actual sentences. Palm alone was amnestied and returned to the army, retaining his former rank. They have just informed me, my dear brother, that we are to set out on the march either today or tomorrow. I requested permission to see you, but I was told this was out of the question. All they would do is to allow me to write you this letter, which I should like you to answer right away. I am worried that you may have heard somehow about our being sentenced to death. Out of the windows of the carriage in which I was being taken to Semyonovsky Square, I saw throngs of people. Possibly the news had already reached you too, and you were suffering for me. Now you will feel easier about me. Brother, I have not lost courage, and I do not feel dispirited. Life is life everywhere. Life is within ourselves and not in externals. There will be people around me. And to be a man among men, to remain so forever and not to lose hope and give up, however hard things may be, that is what life is. That is its purpose. I have come to realize this. This idea has now become part of my flesh and blood. Yes, this is the truth. The head that created, that lived by the superior life of art, that recognized and became used to the highest spiritual values, that head has already been lopped off my shoulders. What is left is the memories and the images that I had already created but had not yet given form to. They will lacerate and torment me now, it is true. But I have inside me the same heart, the same flesh and blood that can still love and suffer and pity and remember, and this, after all, is life. Envoie le soleil. Well, goodbye, brother. Don't grieve for me. Now, some practical considerations. The books, I still have the Bible, and some manuscripts, rough sketches of a play and a novel and a completed story, a child's fairy tale, have been taken away from me and I suppose will be turned over to you. I'm also leaving behind my overcoat and my old suit, and you can send someone to pick them up. And now, brother, I am faced with what may be a long journey to my place of deportation. I need money. As soon as you get this letter, my dear brother, get some money if you can and send it to me right away. Money is more important to me than the air I breathed just now for a special reason. Also, write me a few lines. Then, if the Moscow money arrives, work on my case and don't abandon me. Well, that's that. There are the debts, but what can I do about them? Kiss your wife and the children. Remember me to them now and then. See to it that they do not forget me. Who knows? Perhaps we'll meet again sometime. Look after yourself and your family, brother. Lead a quiet and provident life. Keep your children's future in mind. Lead a purposeful, useful life. Never before have such rich and healthy reserves of spiritual life been seething in me as now. But will my body stand the ordeal? That I do not know. I am setting out in poor health. I am suffering from scrofula. But who knows? I have been through so much in my life that there are few things left now that can frighten me. Come what may. Let me have news of you at the earliest opportunity. Give the Maykoffs my final farewell regards. Tell them that I am grateful to them for all their unwavering concern for me. Say a few particularly warm words for me, whatever your own heart dictates to you. To Yevgenia Petrovna. I wish her much happiness, and shall always remember her with grateful respect. Shake the hands of Nikolai Apollonovitch and Apollon Maykov for me, and also those of all the rest. Find Yanovsky. Thank him and shake his hand for me, and thank all those who have not forgotten me. And those who have, remember me to them. Give my love to our brother Kolya. Write to our brother Andre and inform him about me. Write to our aunt and uncle. Do it on my behalf and give them my regards. Write to our sisters and tell them I wish them happiness. And perhaps we'll meet again someday, brother. Take care of yourself, and for the sake of God, live to see me again. One day we may yet hug each other and remember our young years, our bygone golden times, the dreams of our youth that at this instant I am tearing, bleeding from my heart and burying. Can it be that I shall never again take pen in hand? I hope that in 4 years' time, it will be possible. I shall send you everything I write, if I write at all. My God, how many images to which I have given life and which are still alive will perish, will be snuffed out inside my head, or will spread like poison in my blood. Yes, if I cannot write, I shall perish. Better 15 years of confinement with a pen in my hand. Write me more often, write me in greater detail, longer and fuller letters. Describe lengthily in every letter all the little things of family life, the trivia, and don't forget that. It will give me hope in life. If only you knew how much your letters sustained me and my casemate here. These last 2.5 months, when we were not allowed to receive letters, were very painful to me. I was in poor health. The fact that at times you failed to send me money made me worry for you because it meant that you yourself were in dire need. Once again, kiss the children. I cannot get their lovely little faces out of my head. May they, at least, be happy. You too, brother. I want you to be happy too. But for heaven's sake, don't grieve over me. I want you to know that I'm not discouraged, that hope has not abandoned me. In 4 years, things will be a bit easier for me. I shall be an army private. That is already quite different from being a convict. And bear in mind that I will hug you one day. Why didn't I face death for 3/4 of an hour today? Live with this thought in my head. Was I not a hair's breadth away from death, and now I'm living again? If anyone remembers me unkindly, and if I have quarreled with anybody or left them with an unpleasant impression of me, ask him to forget about it, if you happen to come across him. There is no bile or malice in my soul, and I should like so much at this instant to love and to press to my heart any of these former acquaintances. It is a joy. I experienced it today as I was taking leave of those who were dear to me before I was to die. At that moment I was thinking that when you heard about my execution, the news would kill you. But now I assure you that I'm still alive and that I shall live in the future in the hope that one day I shall take you in my arms. That is all I have in my mind right now. I wonder what you're doing now. What have you been thinking about today? Did you know what happened to us? How cold it was today. I hope my letter reaches you quickly, otherwise I shall have to be some 4 months without news from you. I saw the packets in which you sent me the money during the past 2 months. The address was written in your own hand, and I was so glad to see that you were well. When I turn back to look at the past, I think how much time has been wasted, how much of it has been lost in misdirected efforts, mistakes, and idleness, and living in the wrong way. And however I treasured life, how much I sinned against my heart and spirit. My heart bleeds now as I think of it. Life is a gift. Life is happiness. Each minute could be an eternity of bliss. Si jeunesse savait. Now at this turning point in my life, I am being reborn in another form. Brother, I swear to you that I will not lose hope and will keep my spirit and my heart pure. I shall be reborn to something better. This is all my hope, my whole consolation. Life in the casemate has already largely killed in me some demands of the flesh that were not quite pure. I hadn't guarded myself against them sufficiently before. Now, privations are nothing to me, and so do not be afraid that material hardship of some kind or another will kill me. Ah, if only I had my health! Farewell, brother, farewell. When shall I be able to write to you again? You will get as detailed a report of my journey as feasible for me. If only I can manage to preserve my health, everything will be fine. Well, goodbye, brother. Goodbye now. I hug you hard and kiss you warmly. Remember me without heartache. Don't be sad. Please don't be sad about me. In my very next letter, I'll tell you how life is treating me. Never forget what I've told you. Organize your life. Don't waste it. Plan your future. Think of the children. When shall I see you again? Goodbye. I'm tearing myself away now from everything that was dear to me, and it hurts to leave it. It is painful to break myself in two and to tear my heart in half. Farewell, farewell! But I shall see you again, I hope. In fact, I feel sure, but don't change, don't stop loving me. Don't let my memory grow dim. And the thought of your love will be the better part of my life. Farewell once more. Farewell, farewell to all of you. Your brother, Fyodor Dostoyevsky. December 22nd, 1849. When they arrested me, they took some books away from me. Only 2 of them were illegal. Don't you want to take the others for yourself? But here's a service you can do for me. One of the books was The Works of Valerian Makov, his critical articles. It belongs to Yevgenia Petrovna. She gave it to me as one would give a treasured possession. When I was arrested, I asked the officer of the security police to give her back the book and gave him her address. Find out whether he did it. I don't want to deprive her of this memento. Goodbye, goodbye once more. Yours, Dostoyevsky. I don't know whether they will march or transport us there. I believe we will be transported. Who knows? Once again, shake Amelia Fyodorovna's hand for me. Kiss the children. Give my regards to Krajewski. Perhaps write to me in as much detail as possible about your arrest, imprisonment, and release. And that is the end of the letter, and these are the footnotes. This is the last letter Dostoyevsky wrote before leaving to serve his sentence at hard labor, which he did not in Orenburg, but in Omsk. While in penal servitude until 1854, he was not permitted to write any letters. Alexei Nikolaevich Pleshcheyev, 1826-1897, was a poet and one of the first to attend Petroshavsky's weekly gatherings. He and Dostoyevsky probably met in 1846, either in the Beketov circle or at the Makovs, and they soon became very close friends. A Faint Heart and White Nights were dedicated to him. Pleshcheyev did serve his sentence in Orenburg, and that may have been what led Dostoyevsky to think that he would be sent there as well. Pleshcheyev assisted Dostoyevsky with money, helped him to get a collection of his works published in 1860, and contributed to the periodicals that Dostoyevsky and his brother ran. Sergei Fyodorovich Durov, 1816 to 1869, was a writer and translator and one of the most assiduous participants in the Petroshavsky gatherings. When differences began to arise among members of the Petroshavsky group, Durov, Pleshcheyev, and Dostoyevsky formed their own little circle. Durov also served a sentence in Omsk, but he and Dostoyevsky had little to do with each other there. In 1857, Durov was permitted to return to European Russia because of illness. He lived for a time in Poltava with Palm, in whose house he died. Alexander Ivanovich Palm, 1822 to 1885, another member of the Petroshavsky circle, was the only one to be eventually pardoned. In 1872 to 1873, he published under the pseudonym P. Alminsky a novel, Alexei Slobodin, in which he portrays under fictitious names Dostoyevsky, Durov, Petroshavsky, and others, and describes one of their Friday gatherings. Envoy le Soleil is presumably an allusion to the words of the condemned man in Hugo's novel La Dernière Jour d'un Condamné, The Last Day of a Condemned Man, 1829. Eagerly hoping that his death sentence will be commuted to imprisonment, the convict explains, Un forçat, c'est la marche encore, c'est la va et vient, c'est la voit la soleil. A convict, that's someone who can still walk. Someone who comes and goes. Someone who sees the sun. A Child's Fairy Tale was the story that was published in 1857 under the title of, quote, A Little Hero, end of quote. Ironically, when he learned of its publication from Mikhail, Dostoyevsky wrote to his brother that the news did not altogether fill me with joy. I had been thinking for a long time of reworking it. But what can we do about it now? Yevgenia Petrovna Makova, 1803 to 1880, was Valerian's and Apollon's mother, a poet and author in her own right. Some of her work was published in a library for reading between 1841 and 1850. Nikolai Apollonovich Maykov, 1794 to 1873, was their father. After service in the army, he took up painting and executed a series of icons for the Holy Trinity Church in Petersburg. The works of Valerian Maykov that Dostoyevsky mentions was perhaps printed privately by his parents, since no collection of his writings was published until 1891. Stepan Dmitrievich Yanovsky, 1817 to 1897, was a physician in the Department of Government Medical Supplies of the Ministry of the Interior until his retirement in 1871. From 1877 until his death, he lived in Switzerland. He and Dostoyevsky had met in 1842 and became quite close friends.